All right, in this problem, we need to divide a gigantic polynomial, 10y cubed plus 19y squared plus 22y plus 30, by a binomial, 5y plus 7. Whenever we have to do division that includes a binomial or larger, so 2 terms or 3 terms or 4 terms or more, we need to use what's called long polynomial division. So I've already set the problem up for us. I put the divisor or the denominator on the outside, and I put the quotient on the, or the dividend, I'm sorry, in the inside of the division. I need to make sure as we go through that I have all of my exponents, all my powers of y represented. So y to the 3, y to the 2, y to the 1, and the constant. And the divisor also has a y to the 1 and a constant. In more difficult problems, one of those terms is missing, and we need to put 0 placeholders in, but not in this problem. So let's get rid of all of those underlines and start the problem. Okay, to start the problem, we're only going to look at the first term in each polynomial. And this is just like the long division that you might remember from grade school. We're going to ask ourselves the equivalent of, what do you multiply 5y by to turn it into a 10 and a y to the third? Well, 5 times 2 is 10. And I'll write my result. I like to write my result personally. I like to write it above the factor or the term that it's coming from, but it really doesn't matter. So 5 times 2 is 10, and y times y to the 2 gives us y to the 3. Okay, now everything written up above the line gets distributed through our divisor. So 2y to the 2 times 5y is 10y to the 3. And don't forget, 2y to the 2 times the plus 7 is plus 14y to the 2. Okay, so as I'm erasing my little distributing lines here, I want to point out this is the first easy mistake to make. It's easy to forget to do the 2y squared times 7. So don't forget to do that. Okay, now we want to subtract, because when we do our long division, when we get to this point, we always subtract what we have in blue here. So my students came up with a long time ago a little mnemonic called draw the line and change the signs. So subtraction, when we're doing polynomials, is actually changing signs or distributing our negative through. Okay, so after we draw the line and change the signs, we've got 10y cubed minus 10y cubed is 0. That should always happen. And we've got 19y squared minus 14y squared is 5y squared. Okay, and now we're ready to bring down the next term, plus 22y. Okay, after we bring down the next term, we start all over again. So, again, we're just looking at the first 2 terms. So, what do we multiply 5y by to turn it into a 5 and a y squared? Well, 5 times 1, or a positive 1, is 5, and y times itself, y times y, gives us y squared. So I don't normally write the 1 in when we do this, but you can if you want to. And then remember, everything written up above this line gets distributed through, so we're going to go y times 5y is 5y squared, and y times 7 is plus 7y. Okay, to kind of clean this up, I'm going to erase my distributing and go back to the next step. Okay, after we distribute, the next step is going to be draw the line and change the signs. So we're subtracting. Since 5y squared is positive, we'll make it negative, and since 7y is also positive, we'll make that negative. All right, now subtracting. 5y squared minus 5y squared is again 0. 22y minus 7y is 15y. And we're ready to bring down the next number, plus 30. Okay, this should be the last round. So remember, you're looking at just the first two terms. So what do we multiply 5y to turn it into a 15y? 3. So I'll write plus 3 up here. And actually, let me go back and make those underlines go away. Now I'll rewrite the plus 3. Okay. Remember, the 3 is going to get distributed, so 3 times 5y is 15y, and 3 times 7 is 21. And one last round of subtraction, so draw the line and change the signs. Again, we get a 0. 15y minus 15y is 0. That should always be the case. And 30 minus 21 is 9. And that's our remainder. The way we write remainders in long division for polynomials is we write plus a new term, the remainder, 9, still needs to be divided by, it's remaining to be divided by, the 5y plus 7. Okay, and then what we have written up here on the top is our answer.